Hello, hello, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. So I went ahead and moved Clyde to the Elaborate that took us into Smileton, or told us about Smileton, and he asked us, so what's the status on the big cheese? And then I remembered I wasn't recording yet, and I was like, ah, shit. So you missed him asking about the big cheese, and that was it. But it's not that big of a deal, it's just quest completion. So, you can't force happiness. The bigger cheese, huh? Well, that was cool, I guess. Sorry you missed that one line of dialogue, but it didn't complain. No. Oh, look, the face on the moon. Oh, I think that's actually a reference to well, several references in one actually. It's a reference to the face on Mars, the face on the moon that's in one of the many versions of Final Fantasy IV. They've done so many ports of Final Fantasy IV, it's ridiculous. Anyway, we have a couple other options of where to go now. And I think, honestly, we should continue on with the main story quest. So let's go ahead and go back to Yedley Mod and ride on over and get into our party with Trusts to go into Alzadal's legacy. Yeah, I still haven't bothered getting flying, I'm sorry. I'll try to change that before 6.2 comes out, I guess. I haven't exactly been in a rush to upload these, and I guess I should have been because we've got a new patch coming out next week, so at least our mount moves faster. Okay. But yeah, so if you remember right, as far as the main story goes, Tataru told us to go to Thavnair. In Thavnair, we asked this professor about this treasure trove, this otherworldly treasure trove of Alzadal 3, which that in and of itself is kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke reference, because Alzadal's legacy, it's a reference to Final Fantasy XI. We're going to see a lot of Final Fantasy XI monsters inside of there, but by the end it's going to loop back into being Final Fantasy. And I guess we'll go through their small talk one more time just to see if they have anything interesting, or try to get ourselves more in the main story mood. Okay, so who should we take in? I haven't leveled Dragoon, so I can't demonstrate anything else here. But if I remember right, if you're a DPS or healer, Estinian is actually one of your tank choices. Let's see here for a second. Oh, nope. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Maybe that's... What am I thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of trailer information. I don't know. Or am I thinking of the Heidelin trial? No, I can't. Whatever. Okay, so...
Right then.
Estinian, because it's important to him.
Victory will be ours!
And we'll get Y'shtola because it's important to her. And then we can either go with Yuri Angers or Catboy Sage Deluxe, and either way we're doubling up on our race. And in all honesty, we asked Catboy Sage Deluxe
ever ready
to come with us first, so I guess we'll take him. So, whatever. And he was the one who led us to Y'shtola, so... Now, even though this is a Final Fantasy XI reference, the area that it's in pretty much isn't, and neither is the music. I don't really know how they chose the music they did for this place. Pretty sure it's an original Sokkin composition using some melodies that we've already heard before from Thavnair. But, okay, so let's just eat some. Yeah, that'll work. And this dungeon actually drops, I think, I-475 gear, or 575 gear, so we might actually get some gear upgrades. That'll be stand-in pieces until we finish up. So we got Opos first. Those were originally a Final Fantasy XI monster, as far as I am aware. And look, we got enemies entering the battlefield with AoEs. Oh, it's Cutrubs! They're a lot skinnier than they were, and oh my god, you're not healing me, dude. Okay.
I will not hold back!
That's why I don't like trusts. That'll be okay though. We'll recover. We'll make the most of it.
The gloves are off.
See, what did they decide to name the Cutrubs? Alzadal's Cutrub. Okay. I can't remember, but I think this is the first time the Cutrubs appear in 14. That might not be accurate. They might have been in reused already in like Eureka or something. I cannot recall. The map's glyph of passage opens the path forward. Okay, I'm not gonna overpull. Clyde's gear is a little bit underwhelming, and I can't trust these trusts hilariously.
I will not hold back!
It's funny because they actually stole the trust concept from Final Fantasy XI as well. They introduced, if you watch my Final Fantasy XI Let's Play, they introduced trusts into Final Fantasy XI as the player population declined. And they more or less introduced it into 14, not because the game is in decline, but because literally so many people play it that the audience has reached a point where there are people who do not want to play it because it's an MMO and they're only begrudgingly playing it because they heard the story was good and then they got hooked, but they don't actually want to deal with anyone or like play with anyone. So
The gloves are off.
that's a whole thing, you know.
This will hurt.
And of the two trust systems, I find that it's actually necessary in 11. It enhances your ability to even play the game, for one thing, and for another, it lets, you know, there's no longer the excuse of, well, I can't level that job because no one will take me to EXP parties in it, which was the roadblock for people playing a lot of jobs in that game originally. Okay, so this boss is called Ambu Jam. It is not a Final Fantasy XI reference. I don't know if it's an original or if maybe it's a new days, like a Voracious Resurgence or some high end game thing I never did in 11, but it's not a reference to anything from Azadale, Undersea Ruins, or anything. And quite frankly, I don't know how its telegraphs work. I have done this dungeon very few times. By the time this dungeon came out, I had almost all of the gear I cared about from the Savage Raid tier. And because this dungeon only drops I-575 gear, I already had full 580 for almost everything. So I didn't even care about the gear it dropped.
I will not hold back.
So it put its tentacles in the ground, one tentacle in the ground. Okay, and it's like moving it over there or something. Okay. And it does a red. Yeah, that matches like the tentacle color, I guess. Okay, the trusts are running.
You're mine!
They ran over here for some reason. Okay, I guess the tentacles. Okay, you kind of just have to read their path or something. But to be honest, I wouldn't have read that without the trusts pre-positioning. Here. That one's pretty easy. I mean, fortunately, it's just a dungeon boss, so even if you screw up a few times, you just get some ball sacks, and that's that. But I don't know, if they put that tentacle fight thing into a raid fight, I'd probably have some difficulty with it. Okay, now he's gonna do both tentacles, right? Again. They're going, and it looks like they're gonna. Oh, I'm gonna get overlapped. Yep, okay. Yep, that's what happens. I suck.
Away with you!
Allow me.
Nothing!
These voice lines are really loud. Okay. If only it had been a dried squid. Imagine all of the dried rations. Nishtala. Insufficient inventory space. Son of a bitch. Let's throw down this coconut chowder. And, I don't know what else I need to throw away here. It's high cordial, and I don't give a fuck about that. Oh, there goes my Requiesce cat buff. Hey, it didn't even give me any fucking gear. It gave me a materia. It didn't even give me gear. What the fuck? Okay, let's throw away. I guess we should be looking at the trust dialogue and the dungeon itself, huh? You got a nice little, reference here. The Azadale Undersea Ruins windows. You got this nice ornate pattern on the floor, even though it's not made out of... Well, there's some metal. There's like this metal pipe. But all in all, it's not... Like, maybe this is how they intended for it to look in 11, but it was a lot more, metal and metallic than it was. Oh, we got a ring. Too bad it's not an upgrade. But whatever. Oh, yay! It's a salvage monster. It's an something portal, right? Let's see. Azadale's Rampart. Oh, yeah, okay, that's what they're called. You could run into these and salvage, and this is just making me want to get back to that Let's Play. Because I don't think I showed any of that off yet, because I think Calm Wind was only in the 75s, because I was trying to keep my my levels consistent with the stories, so that my trust and I wouldn't just run roughshod over everything in like 5 seconds. So that there would actually have to be some sort of battle tactics and maybe job switches put into play, because that was like the whole appeal of 11 was finding out what could work, what might not work, and getting stuff done. And now, honestly, with this bull, you want to you want to focus on the Rampart first and foremost, because it keeps summoning the other monsters. And I don't know if the Trusts know to do that or not. And even if they do, they're very slow about it. So you might benefit from just going ahead and single target killing the Rampart ASAP rather than AoE. Although some of your AoEs are just too good to pass up, like the Holy Circle and whatnot. Oh, I missed my Confiteor. I'm a horrible, terrible paladin. It's too bad my will to cure is like in the toilet. Oh, no new treasures. I'm really hoping that this next patch revitalizes my interest in the game, so that I can at least think about it favorably. Whenever I think about 14 these days, I just wind up pushing off recording, and I've said this I think already like 4 or 5 times. I just don't want to do the Let's Play for it anymore. Which, I mean, I guess I could stop at any time, right? Like, it's not something I have to do. It's not exactly making the algorithm think that my channel's worthwhile. But,
allow me.
I don't know. I've already invested like 390 videos into it, so I don't know. I might as well at least keep it going until it loses all appeal for me. It hasn't yet lost all of its appeal. There's still stuff I think is worth showing off. And again with the damn accessories. Okay, whatever. Yeah, let's just do the single target slam here. Of course, we're gonna have to pick up the monsters. Oh, we almost killed it before it got other reinforcements in. Almost. Oh, there's my Confiteor. I didn't miss it this time. Yay, I'm the best paladin in A! Except for the fact that I can't get this fucking crab to fucking... Look Look at that giant crab with his crown and his golden shell. That's just funny. I love comedy monsters like that. I'm still waiting for them to give us a Krakatoa crab, though. It's just one of these snipper type crabs, which are references to real-life coconut crabs, I guess.
Allow me.
They don't actually look like coconut crabs. They're just, it's the size I'm talking about, I guess. But there's a type that has like sort of mountainous looking barnacles or something on their back, and it was like called Crab Katoa or something like that. It was pretty funny. It will take more than this to halt our expedition, huh? Well, you don't even know what this can do you, Y'shtola? So, yeah. It's the Armored Chariot, and this is a reference to salvage from Final Fantasy XI again. There were actually 4 different chariots you could fight. There was the Armored Chariot, the Battle-clad Chariot, Longbow Chariot, and so we already got Battle-clad, Armored, Longbowed, and yeah, I'll have to look it up. But I think this one has the model for the one that did the original spell Brainjack, which would charm one of your party members. And you either had to put up with your party member attacking you, or put them to sleep, or enfeeble them in some other way. But the deadliest and hardest chariot to beat was, I think it was the Battle-clad Chariot. It did a move called Discoid that was the equivalent of 10,000 needles. And you could bring 18 people into a salvage run, but you'll see it eventually when I get there in the 11 Let's Play, assuming you're still watching my channel. More or less, salvage would force you to only upgrade a few party members. You had this restriction to your gear, your sub-job, your stat, your attributes suffered penalties whenever you entered the salvage portion of the Azadale Undersea Ruins. And so you had to unlock stuff. So you had to prioritize which job was getting the most out of each unlock. But, you know, stuff like your very HP was also reduced by half. Oh, shit. Oh, I have done it bad. That's my own fault for blabbing about older, better Azadale Undersea Ruins. But, yeah, this boss has... They just completely invented mechanics for it. The chariots in 11 don't do anything like this. Not saying that I hate it. I think it's cool. It's very visually flashy. I like how it controls your positioning.
Away with you!
But,
Gloves are off.
yeah, so the Discoid Chariot, right, like, even if you brought in a full 18 people, which was a really bad idea, honestly, because most of the people are just gonna be weak and die. More or less, you had to figure out how to live through Discoid with only like 6 to 10 people in a realistic salvage run. And with like 8 or more people, the split damage was just really heavy. You know, like 10,000 divided by 8 or whatever is like...
I will not hold back.
What, like 1,200 and something? Like 1,250? Yeah, 1,250. So you generally had enough HP on everyone in your party with that. But any less than 8 people, and the Discoid Chariot could literally just kill your party if you didn't bring the right jobs. Like pet jobs would be part of the split. So like Summoner and Beastmaster. Okay, we got some casting meds. Yay, casting. Let's throw down this materia. And I don't know. I don't care about any of these yellow dyes. Maybe I'll care about them later. Yeah. So the Discoid Chariot was the most dangerous one. The Brainjack Chariot was the second most dangerous one. If I remember right, the Longbow Chariot was also pretty dangerous because it just had a really strong fuck your tank move that also was an AoE in front of it. It's been a long time though, so I don't know if I'm remembering that right. And I also can't remember which chariot is actually which. Like, I remember 3 out of 4 of their names, but I can't remember which one actually did what. And later in the Abyssia expansions, they would reuse the models and tie those specific moves to the chariot model rather than the name. And that's also sort of confusing me in my head now because the Abyssia versions I fought a lot more because you needed to kill them as part of a pop set for monsters for Empyrean weapons. But funnily enough, I don't remember the rehashed name variants of the Abyssia ones at all. I just know that they were there, and they're taking up part of my memory.
I will not hold back.
Funnily enough, though, by the time Abyssia came out, they started introducing spells that prevented death by fatal high damage. I think for Ninja there was a spell called Migawari, which, like, if you were gonna take fatal damage, it would reduce the fatal damage to being like, I want to say like, you know, some non-fatal number, like I think
not hold back.
I think it was HP based. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I remember I could solo the Discoid Chariot in Abyssia because I could have Migawari up before it would ever do Discoid, and I would live as a result. We need to help him out with healing us. Oh, Clemency doesn't break the combo now. That's nice. That Acrolith was a Treasures of Adargon unique new monster back in the day when Treasures of Adargon first came out. I love when they reference 11 and 14, but it's also kind of bittersweet because it just makes me remember a bunch of nostalgic and more pleasant memories. Of course, to most of the people who played 11, that's actually just kind of an annoying callback because it reminds them that they didn't like 11 enough to keep playing it. It's like the more and more people I talk to who played 11 back in the day, the more and more I find out that the average experience with the game was playing it for a few months, not hitting maximum level because it took too long, and then putting the game down forever. Looming Warden, Kapakulu. Now this guy is a complete 14 original. He's not an 11 reference at all. And the cutscene made me miss my Confiteor. But that's okay. 'Tis wrapped in aether imbued silks.
I'll tend to your wounds.
Okay, so we've got spikes around the arena. Okay. And I didn't do Requiescat because we gotta deal with this shit. It's a very funny mechanic, but it's also actually kind of hard to deal with. You control the facing of the pointing finger, but your momentum or whatever, like it's not precise. It's like
You underestimate me!
clunky tank controls, more or less.
I will not hold back.
Okay, so we got green and yellow. He's doing power surge towards yellow, so we want to stand near green.
There.
A colossal surge of ether inundates the hanging fabric.
I'll tend to your wounds.
I will not hold back.
And he should be about to mix it up, and he's going to do spin out, and it's going to... So, but he's going to jump and do like AoEs now as well. And I assume that the Scions just get a free pass with this mechanic. Yeah, more or less. Basting blade, huh? Why can I not jump free? Too much rich food of late. Wild weave. Yes, it's towards yellow. The king in yellow? No. Oh no, we have to spread out. Such complex mechanics, however will I deal with them? I wish Justinian would limit break already. We're gonna kill it before we hit level 2 at this rate.
Allow me.
Oh, I was wrong. Okay, well at least
Going
limit
to
break.
leave a mark.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Allow me.
Alright. Dear viewer, prepare for cutscenes. Aww. Let's go look through the, we obviously got a big golden thing over there that's wrapped in the magical silks or whatever. Looks more like a seal than a treasure, but it is made out of gold, it looks like. But yeah, we ran by a bunch of treasure and I was still blabbing about Final Fantasy XI and stuff you probably don't actually care about. But yeah, let's take a look at this treasure and see how much we actually just found, right? Like, now this is a fucking treasure trove. Holy crap, that's a lot of gold. Look how big these fucking gold bars are. These gold bars are like bigger than Clyde's fucking torso. Like, what the fuck? Got a bunch of ornate statues, pots. Look how glossy that pot is. Ooh, doggy. Did we miss any conversation about this? Okay, so... Ah, this should more than cover the price of the map. How much did you pay for it anyway? Okay, the treasure's looping in on itself now. I was hoping we'd see like some sort of, you know, reference or something to something. And who knows, maybe there is one that I just don't know about. Here, we'll go all the way back to the zone line. So you got some swords in there. Do you see anything, viewer? Do you see anything that might be a reference to something? Yeah, okay, I didn't think so. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. The Thrice One Horde, huh? What's the ceiling like? Oh wow. We're actually under the water. Like at the bottom of the ocean. Legit. Ooh, a shark. It's a very colorful dungeon. Alrighty then. Prepare for cutscenes.
What have we here?
'Tis not unlike a Hunnish alchemical furnace in design.
Well, there is one way we might find out.
Stop! You mustn't touch it.
Varshan, who's actually Virtra, what is this? What is this?
Vritra! Oh, my apologies. Should I continue calling you Varshan?
You may address me as you wish. My nature is no longer a secret. Still, this is not a setting I imagined for our reunion. Surely you've not entered these ruins as common looters.
Would that we could deny your accusations, but I fear you're not far from the truth.
Great Vritra, might we beseech thee to explain the nature of this strange contrivance?
Why would he use the phrase "common looters"? Like, you know, it's or there's nothing common about us. If we'd been the common looters, you know, we would have died at the start. We wouldn't have even gotten in here.
It was crafted by our alchemists at my behest, for the purpose of sealing something away.
you can try to be like, insert some more comedy. There's gonna be enough comedy though. Let's just ask a serious question, because that's more in line with who Clyde is anyway.
Perhaps I should simply show you.
So he's got, what is that, red irises with red sclera or whatever that kind of make his eyes look a little bit more glowy than they actually are, even though it's just two flat colors side by side. Ooh, a void portal. But it's stable? Or maybe unstable?
I have lifted the seal, if only for the moment, by an authority only I possess.
A planar fissure?
No, my friend. Small though it may be, this is a functioning gate into the void.
So it's still yes, it is a planar fissure to the void, which is, you know, the plane that it is a fissure into. Yeah, we've seen void gates like that a gajillion times. This one just seems to be kind of tiny. Can a tiny portal truly be so dangerous? Oh, look! So your pedantic correction of Urian J was, yeah, completely fucking pedantic. Rahatia, I found you both shallow and pedantic. Okay, so no one says anything there. Let's move along. Brother's grief, huh?
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia passed when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Meracidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities.
Look, it's the Warring Triad. Man, look at Sothia's thighs. God damn.
In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void. Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Voidsent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
Well, he is a fucking immortal dragon. Why would you be surprised?
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Ajdaya. We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me.
We're not male or female. We just continue using masculine and feminine pronouns because reasons.
I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Ashdaya cared for me where my sire could not. Thus, I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Ashdaya risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength.
Into that void pussy.
I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Ashdaya has been lost to us ever since.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
Why would the Allagans consider a dragon fighting against them noble?
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Ashdaya. Until I could search no more. Until Allag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
My discovery came before Radzat was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure.
Oh look, it was actually a planar fissure. Shut the fuck up, Grahatia. Shut the fuck up. We need to bitch slap Grahatia.
It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil, it finally grew to a size that a child might pass through.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, that Ashdaya's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one.
With hope in my heart, I used the simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I found was a host of Void-sent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed. 'Twas but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Radzat and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy siblings scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void.
Oh shit, by that logic, then you've already basically said that Ashdaya is been warped because she's been there for 5,000 years. And possibly longer, because that's only 5,000 source years. And as we know, the flow of time between the shards is all fucking convoluted.
You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
I I do remember when Nero turned purple, that's for sure.
Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the Void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether. Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Ashdaya.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the First Brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome. Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late. And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection. So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course.
Typical dragon behavior, hoarding treasure.
I wish only to forget the rest.
Wonder what's going on in Y'shtola's head. This isn't gonna lead her to her Manther. Now, interestingly, the word Azdaha or Azdaja, I'm not actually sure how it's pronounced, so I don't know if their pronunciation of it is correct. But it's actually from, I believe it's Middle Eastern, like Persian or Babylonian mythology. It's actually a sea serpent, and they usually take the place of dragons in all of that region's mythos. And almost every great heroic tale has a hero killing an Azdaha. And it's basically a sea serpent that has, if I remember the lore surrounding the myth correctly, it's a sea serpent that's growing big enough to damage the sea. And yeah, so using it as a dragon's name is pretty on point. It's also kind of neat that, you know, it's his sister and he's like the leader of a Middle Eastern style civilization. It's all on point. Oh, okay, so she wants to learn their methods. Duplicate guardians on hand for whenever treasure hunters actually manage to kick ass, huh? So that implies that it's happened before, that the guardians here have actually been beaten before. I wonder who else actually got in here and actually won. And what happened to them? Did, like, Azdaha show up with a bunch of guards and just get them fucking... get their asses whooped or something? Alright, let's push on a little bit further. I mean, we might as well. I can't remember exactly how long the main storyline goes on for, but we haven't quite reached an hour yet, and we pretty much only have cutscenes at this point. There aren't any major trials or anything yet. Although, of course, I still need to show you the raid. which is actually getting updated next week too. We're getting a new portion of the raid tier, so it would behoove me to get that all finished up. No, talk to Estinian, please. Apparently, even if it has happened before, it doesn't happen often. Did we do a bad? Well, this is awkward. I should think Alpha Node would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul in transit. So what, are you saying this is basically like the fucking Kakai barrier from Yu Yu Hakusho? Keeps all the S-rank demons out, but amidst the B levels and lower? Whatever. That's right. We kicked the lead Void Sense ass back at level 50. So how much of a threat could this actually possibly be? Surely it's not going to lead us into an expansion where the Void sent invade the source. We have to have an all-out war with a Void Empire or something, right? I must assert a prior claim, huh? You basically got your treasure hoard dragon tendency out of your system, huh? I don't know, man. I kind of wanted some fucking gold. Those gold bars are like as big as Y'shtola. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. Well, hopefully Estinian sticks around at least. Now that the dungeon is gone, we're fucking off. You may now undertake the Chronicles of a New Era quest, Myths of the Realm. Speak with a fresh-faced student at the Baldeskian Annex to accept the first quest. I believe that pertains to the 24-man raid, which we don't have to rush to do because it's side content. I don't care about those constructs. I don't think Clyde would either. Meanwhile, elsewhere. Ooh. I can't remember what that theme is called, but it's definitely from Final Fantasy IV. Oh. Void Aether coalescing into a being. Oh. Isn't that like a subdued Xenos footstep sound effect? It was slightly less, like they downplayed the sound, but it was the same sound effect. Water, earth, fire, and wind. 4 fiends. Golbez? Golbez! Final Fantasy IV reference. Hell yeah. He's fucking huge. I sensed the breaching of a gate, but it was not instigated from this side. It was thrown open from the other. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. Well, clearly it's not beneath your notice if y'all all notice it and you're talking about it. More pressing matters at hand. An opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate he who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Well, the covenant didn't pertain to the warrior of light. She wasn't restrained when she fought us at all. Bah, let him come. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling gasp for his breath in his final moments. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Dude, that throne straight up looks like the Garlean throne. Like, is that the same model as the Garlean throne? I'm gonna have to fucking check. Think back on our struggles beneath this sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. Well, I got one eye. No, remember Golbez only having one eye. It is time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. The war in motion, huh? A war to redeem the star. Sharing the wealth, huh? I think we'll push on to like an hour 20 or an hour 30, maybe. Okay. Visit Akiali and Yedlimod, speak with Matsia and his people and listen to their grievances. Estinian, I bid you do the same at Palakistan. I'll be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megaduta. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and go out there. I might not push on that long, actually. I might do this next leg in the quest and go ahead and stop. I'm not exactly sure how to split this up, but Okay, so this quest is a dungeon we still have to do, and then this quest is pertains to the raid, the 8-man raid. Kazal's lost hit his hardest. It's difficult, but we're living. Okay, let's just teleport back to Yedley mod. Since I don't have flying, it would be faster. Normally, I part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil, but for you, I'm willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. I am not Estinian. Still sifting through the ashes. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see. Okay. No, a lot of merchants had to sell their ships to make ends in the short term, huh? We lost a lot of sailors in the final days. Oh. If only Kazal were here. Okay, guess we'll go a little bit further, Oh, oops, I'm it's like the time very early in the Let's Play where I like queued for Sastasha or whatever and accidentally recorded going through Sastasha twice because I was ignorant of like what I had queued for. Okay, do I have the teleport for Megaduda? Don't remember. Ooh, let's look. It's like Lilith Bloodsin, huh? It's probably played by a dude dressing all skimpy like that. Anyway, oh yeah, I do. Hooray! I also didn't really choose one of the facial compositions on Viera that I like. I mean, their faces are barely different, but some of them look a lot nicer than others, even with the small differences. Alright, Varshian. You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Basically, I like being small because I don't accidentally destroy shit. Resources are stretched to their limits. The jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Yeah, only because we saved their lives. More or less the same thing. Trade has become really difficult. They don't have any good merchants or sailors anymore. Here, remember this orphan that you saw just before you did the dungeon like an hour ago? what, he's gonna propose to give the treasure to the people or something. Basically an economic injection, which is again only a short-term solution.
I thank you for your attendance.
Oh, we're back to being voice acted.
The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Alzadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul.
Apparently a large segment of the player base really liked Ahiwan for some reason, even though he had like, what, like 10 lines of dialogue up to his death or whatever. And there's like a whole cavalcade of people who are super horny for him for some reason, even though he had one of the uglier Ora faces.
Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly.
I find it funny because he's a character that inspired absolutely nothing in me. Like, he didn't seem important to me. Like, I know they make a big deal out of him and he was important to Virtra, but like, he's more or less just a plot device for Virtra's development rather than an actual character. And he's also ugly, so I don't understand like why so many people have been like thirsting over him and saying, "Whoa, we missed a good opportunity for a good character" or some shit. And it's just like, we missed the opportunity for any character at all because he's literally just character development for the dragon.
Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more.
And look, his wounds from where we took a lot of his scales, they still haven't recovered.
None were spared the tragedy of the final days of the...
Oh, I cut him off.
But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
Well, giving them all that money still isn't gonna provide them with able-bodied sailors. Better start churning out some kids or turning over some of your military. Something.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society.
Ah, so he admits that, you know, this is help, but it's not going to be what actually gets them all the way through this.
Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Ah, shit, you're asking Clyde for wisdom? That's like asking a chicken how to fly. Go with the answer that seems like something that actually would come out of an adventurer's mouth.
Of course. We can draw on trading profits to build a new institution. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage.
So basically, it is going to be a tax, though.
Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name. A fitting candidate.
See, I don't like these dialogue choices they're giving us, though. For the most part, they don't fucking matter. And they just don't even seem in character for the most part.
Karazal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavnair, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores.
That's pretty much how everyone is remembering him.
Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Murad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Why would he want to, though? The shady peddlers kept him fed.
Let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. I'm reminded of Ishgard.
You actually get an extra dialogue choice on the first question they asked you, the one where you could say taxes or you could say the other stuff. If you did Ishgardian Restoration, which was a temporary thing, but I think you could still do some quests related to it now, which basically more or less talks about an orphanage. Okay, what do we got coming next here, Veteran Radiant? Archon Y'shtola. High Crucible, eh? You'll go with me, huh? Well, clearly we're gonna go back to the gate. But honestly, I think the cutscenes are gonna get a little too long, so unless they automatically make us go, then I think we'll stop after this short one here. Alrighty then. Let's see. Well, thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day, and I'll see you again. Next time we'll finish what the main story has left for us, and then we'll do these side dungeons and the raid. So, Please look forward to it.